It's an opportunity for communities like ours to remember the transgender or gender non-conforming folks who've been threatened, injured, or killed for challenging ideas about gender, what it means to be male and female. Accordingly, we take these few moments today to pause, to remember those who've been lost, to raise awareness about transgender issues, and most of all, to help heal the wounds of our great society. This process shouldn't start with ambitious plans to remake the order of things. On the contrary, according to that great author Tolstoy, there can only be one way to fight evil. It is in the moral, religious, and spiritual perfection of our own lives. A more virtuous society, in other words, begins at home. We want the world to be a better place. We need to improve ourselves, for this is entirely within our own control. Paraphrase Marcus Aurelius, don't talk about what a good person is, rather be that good person. This is not an excuse not to be politically or charitably active, but it should help inform our priorities. Get our lives in order. Do the work we need to do, because it will make the biggest difference and will give us the platform, the moral high ground necessary to make a difference in our world. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was given a little piece of valuable advice on her wedding day by her mother-in-law. Ruth, she said, in every good marriage, it helps sometimes to be a little deaf. I've employed it well in every workplace I've been in, said Ginsburg. When a thoughtless or unkind word is spoken, I will pretend to be a little deaf. I often find it best to tune it out, as reacting in anger or annoyance does not do anything to advance one's ability to persuade. We must remember always to shine light on injustice, but at the same time we should remember we shouldn't go around taking exception with perceived insults or negative comments. We must learn to tune it out, to be a little deaf and let things go. Not stupidly, of course, and not completely, but just enough so we can get along with other people and rise above the incivility that has become so commonplace in our country. But wait, aren't we called upon to do a little better than just civility? Yes, indeed. All of the world's great religious teachers have told us that we are called upon to love our neighbors. That doesn't mean just the ones we happen to like. It means everyone. We all have regrets in our lives. Here's something I regret. In grade school, I had a classmate with the perhaps unfortunate name of Gina Gaspich, who was a shy girl, very strong, very smart, and made the rest of us look like imbeciles. That would have been a good name for us imbeciles at the time. But she wasn't very sporty. She wore old lady dresses and she smelled like mothballs. So mostly the kids made fun of her. She was teased. When Nina wasn't being teased, she was mostly being ignored. I can remember seeing the hurt in her eyes, and I still remember how she'd look after some insult. didn't say anything. Her eyes were downcast, and she looked as though she was just reminding herself that she didn't count for much. Sometimes I'd see her standing alone during recess. I should have done something, but as way moves on to way, we all moved on with our lives. Now, why do I regret that? Why 55 years later do I still remember Nina? I was actually pretty nice to her in the scope of things. I never said an unkind word to her that I recall, but still, it bothers me. So here's something I know to be true. What I regret most in my life are failures of kindness. Those moments when another human being was there in front of me and suffering, and I looked away. It's a little simple, maybe, certainly hard to implement, but I'd say as a goal in life, we could do a lot worse than just trying to be a little kinder to everyone. And finally, I'll close with a quote from Dr. Seuss. Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive that is youer than you. Thank you very much.